Good evening, everybody. We bring to you a stream we weren't necessarily expecting to do until about half an hour ago when FPL and the Premier League decided to rearrange the fixtures and let us know there's a triple game week for Man United now in game week 35, and Liverpool have a double, but we'll discuss that too. But Man United, Mark is joining me. It's been a long time. We were trying to figure out before we came on when the last triple game week was. I got to be honest, I don't even remember one. I know there's one of Middlesbrough always talked about, but I don't think I was playing at the time. You think there's... Wasn't he a goal scoring machine at some point? Yeah, I'm sure he was cheap as well, wasn't he? Super League Club, I think they're called. Oh, hang on a sec. Hang on. You're muted. Hang on. It's not. It's going to be my fault. Oh, fuck it. Oh, excuse my language. I know it's a family stream. Go on, try and speak again. Oh, it's not working now. Oh, for God's sake. It's definitely my end because it always is, but I need to figure out what the hell the issue is. Oh, it's this. It's this. Right, I bet it works now. Okay, try and speak now.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Okay, I'll put a comment in the I'll put a comment underneath when this when we come off live to let you know when you can actually hear us. They should be able to hear you now. So yes, you can hear me anyway. Triple game week. Mark was just saying that he seems to remember a Southampton triple game week with Yoshida, but we think that might be a double. Wondering why we had Yoshida.
Why did I have Yoshida if it was just a double? Maybe it was. I don't know. I mean, the problem here is because they're a big six club, though, United, they've actually got resources where they could maybe cope with it, I guess. 3 games in, 5 days, is it? 3 games in 6? 5, isn't it, you said?
It's mad. So we're going to play Roma on Thursday, then the first game's on Sunday, so that's Aston Villa, then it's Leicester on Tuesday, and then Liverpool on Thursday. So the rest periods are non-existent, basically.
And then it's a blank, right? Then it's next game is Tuesday the 18th. Well, that's only 5 days away. It's not that. Yeah.
So it's a really quick turnaround. I mean, obviously, I think the first instinct when you see this, if you haven't got Man United players, is to panic.
Oh God, I'm shitting it. Yeah. I mean, I've got 3 Liverpool players. So I'm kind of thankful that they've got the double because I was looking at it going, who am I going to captain? And I guess if I don't get Bruno, then it'll be one of the Liverpool players now. And plus they've got the West Brom coming out of 35, haven't they? So that's definitely looking good. So I think if you sold Bruno like me, or if you sold one of your Liverpool players, I guess Jota might only play two of those 3. Then you're kind of like, oh, maybe I should have held on to them now. But what do you think about United? I mean, which of the United squad are going to play all 3?
Yeah, just before we come on to that, I should say, obviously, we are just reacting to this. Like, it's just started, so just bear with us. We're not going to be talking about the rest of the double game week players because I think we've done that to death. But yeah, I think, realistically, I think out of the attackers, Bruno's got the best chance, but I still think it's unlikely he plays all 3. I guess Liverpool and Leicester then would be the 2 he would be most needed for. Harry Maguire and Wan-Bissaka have to be the 2, I think, because on the left we've got Telles, so Shaw probably won't play all 3. On the right, we've got a little bit less cover. Like Brandon Williams could potentially play there, for example. But he hasn't played much this season at all, especially versus the game time we got last year. But Harry Maguire has to be up there as the only player I would put any money on starting 3 times, I would say. Because I don't think he's missed a single minute at all this season. He hasn't at all.
That's right. No, I think you're right. Yeah, those 2 probably in defence. But would you get them? I mean, Leicester and Liverpool...
Harry Maguire. He's going to be the first name on my free hit now.
If you're free hitting, of course. But, I mean, would you spend points on getting Maguire in for when 2 of the matches are Leicester and Liverpool at home?
Probably not, to be honest. I think if you haven't got a free hit, I don't know if this really changes too many plans because like you said, it's unlikely any of them play 3 times. The only thing I would say is you kind of guarantee 2 games for most of the main players. Whereas, like you just said, for Jota, for example, or even Mane, potentially, and I know not everyone's really got him in their team right now, but some people might be thinking about it. I don't think anyone will guarantee 2 games for them. Whereas Bruno, Luke Shaw, they'll definitely play twice. Which 2 they get, of course. It could be Leicester, Liverpool, which isn't ideal.
It's most likely, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're the 2 games they need. I mean, Leicester, they've got to get a point. Liverpool, well, they won't want to lose to them. So Villa away, I mean, it's Van der Beek time, isn't it? Don't you reckon?
Possibly. He's barely got a look in. I guess a lot of it will depend, on the Roma lineup a little bit. Obviously, they got, they've without, even if you get rested for Roma, you've still got to play 3 games in 5 days. So, even completely missing the European game still doesn't guarantee 3 lots of minutes. But the fact that we're 6-2 up, Ollie has to rest players. But I'm not so sure he will. Not players like Bruno Fernandes. I just think in the back of his mind, all those semi-finals we've gone out in, I still think he'll be worried that Roma can overturn it.
Yeah, and it's the message. I mean, Roma obviously, Mourinho now, and it's the message it sends out. If you put a weakened team out, it automatically sends the opposition signals that they've got a chance. And I think so. I think he'd more likely to start with a strong team and then peel them off one by one. Because you wouldn't want to send a message with your team sheet as to say we're 4-0 up, but we're going to give you a chance in this game. If they get a couple of early goals, it's nervous, isn't it? So you don't want
stations.
I think he'll start Bruno. I really do against Roma. It'll take him off after an hour, but I think he'll probably start him with the idea that he rests him against Villa. We'll get clues, won't we? If he doesn't start against Roma, there is a chance he will get all 3, but I don't know if any attacking player, do United need to risk it? They don't need to beat Leicester and Liverpool, do they? They certainly don't need, they probably think they can get something out of Villa with a weakened team. So I don't know. Who knows? I think it's very difficult to go. One thing is for sure, though, if you've got Bruno, you're gonna captain him, right? So the effective ownership on Bruno is going to be pretty high, I would say.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's still. I mean, Kane obviously went over 200. I'm sure a lot of people that had. I haven't checked how many free hits are left in the top 10k, but triple captains. If anyone's got it left over, it's only going on one man. That is Bruno. I mean, would you consider any? You haven't got Bruno, right? So I know obviously this is still quite raw. We've only just found out about it, so transfer plans and stuff still have to be made. We got a couple of days to the deadline. What's your gut instinct on bringing him back?
If the fixtures were better, if it wasn't Leicester and Liverpool at home, 2 teams who have got everything to play for. I mean, both Leicester and Liverpool need to get results. So they're going to be tough games, I think, especially as United will go into it with, mentally they would have played. Even if physically some of the players won't have played 3 games in 5 days, mentally they as a team, they've got to prepare for 3 games in 5 days. That's going to take its toll. And so for me, I think Liverpool will actually be looking at that thinking they've got an advantage going into the Thursday game with United. Regardless of the team sheet, they'll think that they're going to be better prepared for that game. So, and United can't lose to Leicester. That's the one game, so they don't want to drop points in either the Leicester or Liverpool games. So I think that I don't see either of those games being massive open goal fests. I think United will probably approach them both as with caution and go, we only need a point in these games. If we don't lose them, that's what we need, right? That's the best result we can get, given the how strenuous the schedule's going to be for them. I just don't know. Don't see many goals in those 2.
Yeah, it would take something disastrous, I think, at this point for Man United to lose top 4. But Solskjaer's not going to do anything to allow that to happen. So going gung ho against these teams seems unlikely. Yeah. I've just, in fact, I probably can pull your team. Yeah, okay. So I've got your team up on screen now. Obviously, this is for last week, so it's not the the view on the my team. So yeah, no Man United players. You got Trent, Salah, and Jota. I assume you're not going to be moving any Liverpool players around. You just got to go in with those, right?
Yeah, that's right. I was going to move Jota out if he added single, but he's got a double now. So I don't know what my transfer will be as yet. I was going to Alonso's going to go, and it probably would be to Dina. Although I could now look at a Maguire, of course. Don't know. I mean, I guess Maguire for a free makes sense because you're going to get probably minimum 6 points, I would say. So, that kind of, I guess that makes sense. I mean, he's not a player that I would automatically drop in. I don't expect, 3 clean sheets by any means, but certainly he could get something at Villa and one of the Leicester or Liverpool games. I mean, I look at the Liverpool game and think that to me was always a candidate for a 0-0 dull game anyway. I think even more so now, because United will approach it with, I would expect, they want it to be a close. They won't want to play an open game in that game. They want to contain Liverpool. So Maguire could get a couple of clean sheets out of these 3.
Yeah, and even if he only got one, like if he did manage to play all 3 games, like already you're kind of in double figures and more without doing anything else, and no bonus, no potential goal. And I know obviously, it's only 2-3 games, so to get a goal, it's a bit of luck, but it's the kind of thing that can happen, right? So I mean, I like Maguire as a pick, and to be honest, even for 37-38, it's Fulham Wolves, so they're not the worst fixtures to kind of hold him through. One player, like looking at your team again, one player obviously that stands out maybe is, I know you only just brought him in for Bruno, I think it was Son, right? So any interest in going to like Greenwood or Rashford, someone like that?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I was looking at Zaha before, spending 4 points on Zaha and going with a rogue captain. I don't think I need to go with a rogue captain now that Liverpool got a double. I'll probably go with either Salah or Trent, possibly Trent, to be honest, because I do think the United game will be. I don't think there'll be many goals. And Salah against Shaw never does well against Luke Shaw, so I don't know. I don't know if Salah's the best route for my captain. Yeah, Son to Rashford to Greenwood is possible. I think Greenwood after Bruno is the next best attacking player. I think he gets 2.5, 2 and a bit, I would say, very likely. I mean, Cavani's only going to play a couple of them.
Yeah,
so Greenwood will play up front in one. Rashford, there's no way Rashford can play all 3. He's struggling to play 2 games at the moment back to back. So I would say Greenwood will get at least 2 and a bit. So yeah, Son to Greenwood could be something I look at. But am I in a hurry to get rid of Son? Leeds isn't an easy game for them. So I think in that 1 week, yeah, absolutely. He's got 1 game next to Greenwood's 2. It kind of makes sense. And Spurs have got Wolves coming out of it. United have got the blank. So I'll look at what I need to do in 36. If I can swap it back in 36, I'll probably do that, yeah.
Good stuff. I bring up my team. I mean, I'm going to be on a free hit, but I've not actually activated the button yet. I don't know how many.
You're made. You're golden, surely.
Yeah, I mean,
you must be loving this.
I feel like the team, like my team right now. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 doublers. But obviously, because I knew I was probably free hitting, I haven't planned anymore. Like I wasn't bothered about Man United players at all because I just didn't want them outside of this double or triple now. So yeah, I mean, if you're on a free hit, there's no reason not to go triple Man United. So I think for me it'll be Fernandes, Maguire +1. Part of me thinks I might go 4-3-3, because I think my team will end up with Greenwood. Could be Wan-Bissaka instead. Will Wan-Bissaka maybe get 3 games? I think, like you said, the games will be tight. Therefore, maybe not having Bruno is not a worry. But that kind of points me towards maybe having double defence is the differential. Because I'm going to have Fernandes anyway, so I'm going to be covered there, and I will captain him almost certainly. So yeah, double defence is an option, and probably double Liverpool defence as well.
Yeah,
because I think Mane is just going to be too expensive to fit in when I can have Vardy, who will almost certainly play both games, and Jota. I wouldn't guarantee that he played both games, especially when he wasn't even on the team sheet for the Man United game in the first place. I don't see that changing too much. So it's quite boring. In some ways, it's boring when this happens because you kind of get the pool of players kind of narrows down for you almost. Like, why would I back against 3 Man United and 3 Liverpool? So yeah, that's what I'm probably going to do.
So here's a question for you: if you had the free hit and a triple captain, what would you play?
I mean, with my team, that's tough actually. I'd be tempted to triple captain and just take a hit. and then free hitting 36, because if I was bringing in Man United players, they're going to blank, etc.
Yeah.
And I think that with 36, it's maybe a little bit annoying that the games are so far apart, because it's possibly harder to read Pep. But if you can get those players right for the Newcastle game in 36 for Man City, there's potential there, I think. If it was Chelsea Champions League Newcastle, it'd be much easier, I think, to pick the players. But because it's Chelsea week off and then Newcastle with no Champions League to worry about till after the season's finished, it's maybe a little bit more difficult to know how many times he's going to rotate. But I mean, I haven't got the triple captain, so I guess I've not given it any thought. But I guess it depends how far away you are from a good free hit team.
Yeah, I like the free hit in 36 for the fixtures, because you can lump on City, like you say, and you could get on Everton against Sheffield United, of course. Not that they're easy to predict, but you obviously could go Calvert-Lewin, Sigurdsson, Dina against Sheffield United with the free hit, which is going to be a big differential, I imagine. Or Rodriguez, if he's fit, if you can trust him. But I think if you haven't got the triple captain, you free hit in 35 now. I think that's pretty clear, right? Probably. But if you've got another chip, it's more difficult.
I've already seen some people on Twitter that have already got 5 from Man United and Liverpool. Plus, I guess most people have got Iheanacho at this point, etc. So you're already up to 6+. And I've seen them considering just still free hitting in 36. So as always, it's team dependent. But for me, because I've kind of been like I sold my Chelsea players. I haven't got any Man United players. When I get to 36, I've only got Vardy and Iheanacho who blank, and I'm going to sell Vardy that week anyway. So it's just, for me, there's no contest between the two. It has to be 35. And I was a bit worried that Liverpool would get a double and that would help everyone out. But the fact that Liverpool get the double but Man United get a triple kind of makes the free hit. I mean, it was always good anyway, but you want it to be as good as it can, right? So this definitely helps out a bit. So.
Oh yeah, I mean it's fallen in your lap really, but I mean we always build it up though, don't we? We always go, the optimism kills you in the end.
Yeah,
we'll see what we get. I mean, it's just interesting. Would you rather have? I mean, it's people are holding Greenwood, Fernandes, and I mean, not many are going to have a United defender, are they?
No, well maybe Luke Shaw. Some people will be holding Shaw.
Maybe, yeah, but Shaw's not going to play all three. I mean, this is it. You'll be holding players that you think are attractive, but actually, out of Bruno, Greenwood, and Shaw, are any of them going to get 3 games? Whereas if you free hit, you could get Wan-Bissaka and Maguire, who probably will get 3 games. So I don't know. It's not, even if you've got 3 United, you might still be going, I haven't got the right 3. So I don't know. It's an interesting one. Depends if you've got another chip to play. Triple captain is definitely going to be on Bruno, I think. So anyone who's got it left. So that it's an opportunity for. I look at it and think, well, I haven't got Bruno. That's going to hurt. But actually, he could easily only play 2 and get 2 points against Leicester and 2 points against Liverpool. And so actually going against Bruno might work in my favour. You never know.
A big call, a triple. I mean, I know what you mean. Like, we are going to build this up to something where it probably won't be. Like you said, they're probably going to get 2 games. One of them's tough. It could just be 8, 9 points, 10 points, something like that. But you've just got to go for it, haven't you? When you see triple, I think.
If you got him, you triple captain him if you can, and you captain him if you got him. I think that's what I do. But I do think there's a chance that if he only plays Leicester and Liverpool, which are the most likely games he does play, then what's he get in those games? It's difficult to predict, given his recent form. We shouldn't expect double figures in both games, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. There's some interesting questions in the chat. One of them's around, obviously, the protest that happened. Would that put you off captaining or bringing in Man United players just in case they get another game called off? But you've got to think that they'll be prepared this time. I mean,
you'd hope, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You'd hope security would turn up this time. So, yeah, I don't think I wouldn't be worried about that.
Yeah, me neither. I just see. I mean, a lot of people have got wondering what to do with wildcard. I mean, I actually did a video earlier which I've kind of deleted now because of this news, so no one will ever see it. But if you've got a wildcard, I don't know what people are waiting for at this point. Like, you got a double game week and a triple game week this week. If you're not using it this week, I'm not quite sure what the thought process is. Right? I mean, you can prepare for 36, right?
You've only got 3 game weeks left then, and 38's a lottery anyway. Like 38, anyone. I mean, Aguero's going to start, isn't he? 38, we think. So it's good.
Oh, it's got to do.
It's going to be. there's going to be all kinds of shaking up on the 38. So you've really only got 2 game weeks you can read, I would say, if you don't play it this week. So yeah, you play it this week, don't you? And you try and you probably go Maguire, Wan-Bissaka and Fernandez, and at least 2 of those are not going to be highly owned, because unless you've got a wild card or a free hit, it's difficult to get them. I mean, having said that, people will take hits probably for one of those 2, won't they?
Yeah, oh yeah, there'll be hits flying about for sure. I think anyone that's not got Fernandez will be in a panic right now. I know you're quite calm now. I wonder if that will change the next day or so. But I think anyone that's not got him will start to panic, because there'll be that worry that he plays 2, 2.5, maybe even all 3. I know it's unlikely. I get that. But I guess it's just seeing it on the screen, seeing those 3 fixtures is kind of scary, but not for you.
Well, I think if it wasn't Leicester and Liverpool, two teams who are good teams with something to play for, but neither of those teams are going to come to Old Trafford and roll over by any means whatsoever. So the Villa game away, yes, I'd be worried about what he could get there. He's more effective away. United are more effective away from home this season. But I think the weakest of the 3 United teams will surely be against Villa, won't it?
Yeah,
so,
I mean that's what I would guess, unless they want to do it for the middle game, because I guess not just. I mean, me and Neil talk about this sometimes on team news. It's not just that. Obviously, yes, it makes sense to rest in Villa and then play the other 2. But given the 2-day turnaround, from a fitness point of view, it might make sense to rest a few in the Leicester game and then give them Villa and Liverpool. I know from a league perspective that doesn't make sense, but from a fitness perspective, a medical perspective, maybe that will happen. But it's all speculation. We don't know. I mean, that's obviously the hope for anyone from an FPL point of view, that they all play Villa, because that defence just is not looking good at all right now.
But I wouldn't have thought they will. I mean, that'll be the Cavani game. I mean, it depends what he plays tomorrow night, doesn't it? As well.
Yeah. We're gonna have to wait and see. I mean, that's the thing. Obviously, there's still a lot more news and info and stuff we can gather before we make the decisions. But it's always good to have an initial reaction and then see how things change in the next couple of days. Anything else you wanted to add?
No, I mean, certainly if Fernandez doesn't start against Roma, I'd be more nervous. But I still think that even if he plays all 3, he's going to be in a weakened team in at least one of the matches, right? So how much damage can he do? If he was absolutely flying and banging in double figures every other week, I'd be absolutely petrified. But as it is, it could be a red herring. We'll have to see. It's a fascinating scenario, though. Just when we thought we'd kind of got this season straight, this comes along. And did Ben Crellin read it? I for once, I think this took Ben by surprise, didn't it?
I mean, someone did just tweet me just a minute ago, because they did say a few days ago about a triple game week, and I said, nah, that's quite unlikely. But there you go, it's happened. And I was the same. I thought after the double game week 35 was announced, that'd be the last of the confusion. Then the Man United game gets cancelled. Now we've got a triple game week. Like I've said a few times this season, in the last few weeks especially, if this is your first season of FPL, it is never usually this bad. I mean, it does get quite bad with planning and doubles and blanks, but not to this extent. Like, this season has been a roller coaster, right? Do you remember a season like this?
No, I mean, it's crazy, and matches postponed for protests and stuff like that. We've never seen the like, have we? So I don't know. We've got to roll with it, haven't we? And I guess those who suffered on Sunday are now in a better position if they kept 5 or 6 of those players going forward. So they're going to be happy. We'll see. I mean, it's all about the outcome, of course. We can speculate about what it means and what's like the outcome of the matches, but this season is so hard to predict. Literally anything could happen over those 3 games for United. Let's see who turns up against Roma, how that goes. And then, I mean, Ollie's going to talk about it, you presume the press are going to ask him how he's going to approach these games. So hopefully he'll give us some clues. I mean, he might actually come out and say, there's no way any player can play all 3. He might do.
Yeah, and it would make sense. I don't think that would be a shocking thing for him to say at all. So,
no. So that'll help, won't it? But only if it comes on Thursday night. So, we got, we might not get embargoed news in time. We should do. Let's hope it comes through Thursday night.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Look, we'll be talking about this all up until the deadline. We'll have more videos on this channel, and obviously Mark will be on Black Box. When's that happening with ours? Tomorrow night at 9?
It's tomorrow night, and luckily I hadn't started too much prep because I thought to myself, I'll wait and see what happens. So good job on it. So yeah, I think Az said he's made a transfer plan last night and published it, and now he's got to rip
the
it all up.
article's out. He's got his transfer plan for the next 4 weeks. He's got to start again. But I mean, that is the joy of FPL, especially this season. So yeah, Mark will be on Black Box. Search for that on YouTube at 9 o'clock tomorrow. I know there's a few people asking about free hit team. I'll have one up on my channel at some point. But it's kind of what I've already spoke about: triple Man United, triple Liverpool, and then fill in the blanks really. Hit that like button if you've enjoyed it, and subscribe if you're new around here. Mark, thank you for joining me.
No worries. See you soon, Andy.
We got to go. I'm losing my voice. Thanks for watching, and